Welcome to the channel Language and Literature. Today I intend to talk about pronoun in details. In the earliest lecture, I talked about parts of speech in general so that we can gain some sort of knowledge about parts of speech. And then in the next video, I talked about noun elaborately. And from that video, we came to know about noun elaborately. Now we know what noun is. We know the way noun is used in sentence, and then we also know the various types of nouns elaborately. But today it is time to talk about pronoun in details. This lecture has been divided into three sections. In the first section, I'll talk about the conception of pronoun, and then in the second section, I'll elaborately talk about 8 parts of pronoun, such as personal pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, distributive pronoun, relative pronoun, reflexive pronoun, reciprocal pronoun, indefinite pronoun, and interrogative pronoun. And finally, in the last section, I'll talk about the mistakes we generally make while dealing with pronoun in our speaking and writing. So let's start with the conception of pronoun. Pronoun simply replaces noun. That means pronoun sits in the place of noun. So pronoun sits in the place of noun, not any other parts of speech. But when we go to use pronoun in our writing or speaking, we sometimes make mistakes because of some issues. What are those 3 issues? When we come across this situation, we actually make mistakes, and these are the 3 situations. When we have double antecedents, the antecedents means a noun which is replaced by a pronoun. So when we have double noun, when we come across double noun of a pronoun, and then we make mistakes. Sometimes in a sentence noun remains hidden, and in that situation we also make mistakes. And there is also another case when there is no noun, there is no reference of noun, there is simply the absence of noun, but still we use a pronoun. So these are the issues will be discussed in the last section, after I have talked about elaborately each of the 8 types of pronoun. So let's start with the personal pronoun. Personal pronoun has various forms according to person, number, gender, and case. On the basis of person, personal pronoun is of 3 types: first person, second person, third person. We have first person singular, first person plural, I and we respectively. We have second person singular, second person plural. You in this regard serves both the purposes. We have third person singular, for example, he, she, it. These are all third person singular, and they is third person plural. On the basis of gender, noun again is of 4 types: masculine gender, feminine gender, neuter gender, and the common gender. Understanding gender is really very important in order to avoid gender biasness in our speaking or writing. So on the basis of gender, pronoun again is of 4 types: masculine gender, feminine gender, neuter gender, and the common gender. He is used for masculine gender, she is for feminine gender, and we combinedly use he and she for common gender, because common gender refers either masculine or feminine gender. For example, when we say student should work hard, he should not spend time unwisely. In this regard, I have become the gender bias, because student refers to both a male and female, girl or boy, but in this regard I have used only he. So this is the gender biasness in my speech. So in this situation, I could use the students should work hard, and he or she should not spend time unwisely. So this is how I could avoid gender biasness. For the plural, common gender, we can use they. For students, we could use they. For neuter gender, we use it. On the basis of case, a pronoun again is of 3 types: nominative case, possessive case, and objective case. Nominative case refers to those pronouns which are used as subject in the sentence, and objective case refers to those pronouns which are used as objects in the sentences. For example, him, them, me, these are called them, he, him, them. These are called objective case because they are used as objects in the sentence. On the other hand, he, she, it, they, I, we, you, these these are called nominative case because they are used as the subjects in the sentences. And there is another kind of case. It is called possessive case. Possessive case again is of two types. One is absolute possessive case and another one is possessive adjective. Absolute possessive case only works like pronoun, but possessive adjective behaves like adjective. For example, my, your, their, our, is, her, these are called possessive adjective because they behave like adjective. For example, this is my pen, this is their house, this is his book. These are the possessive adjective because they work like adjective. But absolute possessive pronoun does not behave like adjective. They simply behave like a pronoun. For example, this pen is mine, those books are ours, and this building is theirs. These are called absolute possessive pronouns. So you can understand that personal pronoun has various forms according to person, number, gender, and case, and it is really a bigger part. And when we are done with personal pronoun, we can go to demonstrative pronoun. These, that, those, such, these are called demonstrative pronoun. We use demonstrative pronoun when we want to refer someone or something specifically. When we want to refer someone or something which is or are near us, we use this or these. For example, this is my marker, and these are my books. When we want to refer someone or something which is or are far from us, we use that and those. That is my building. Those are their buildings. So these are demonstrative pronouns. So we use demonstrative pronoun when we want to refer someone or something specifically. And when we are done with demonstrative pronoun, we can go to distributive pronoun. Remember, we use distributive pronoun when we want to refer each member of a group separately. Each, either, neither are called distributive pronoun. Another thing we should keep in our mind while dealing with distributive pronoun is that distributive pronoun is always followed by plural nouns but singular verb. Distributive pronoun is always followed by plural noun but a singular verb. For example, each of the students is happy. Either of them is sad. So these are distributive pronoun. So we use distributive pronoun when we want to refer each member of a group separately. It is called distributive pronoun, and distributive pronoun is always followed by plural nouns but singular verbs. So when we're done with distributive pronoun, we can go to the relative pronoun. We use relative pronoun in order to make relative clauses, and these relative clauses actually behave like adjective, and they are dependent clause, not independent clause. For example, this is the pen which I bought yesterday, or this is the pen that I bought yesterday. This is the man whom I met yesterday. This is the man whom all of us love. So we use who or whom for human beings, and we use which for or for anything or objects, and we can use that for both the purposes. So this is called relative pronoun. So what is relative pronoun? Through relative pronoun we actually make relative clauses, and through these relative clauses actually behave like adjective, and they are of course dependent clause. Dependent clauses. And when we're done with relative pronoun, we can go to reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun refers to such a pronoun through which we want to refer back to the subject. That means subject and object are the same. For example, he kills himself, she punishes herself. So reflexive pronoun can be used as an object, be it direct or indirect object. For example, I prepare tea for myself. Here I have used reflexive pronoun for both direct and indirect object. But reflexive pronoun cannot be used as compound subjects or compound objects. For example, I cannot say Rohim and myself have done this work, or I cannot say that you should submit your CV to Korim or myself. I have to say you should submit your CV to Korim or me, or Rohim and I did the work. So this is reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun again can be used as intensifying pronoun. It gives actually emphasis. For example, I can say, I myself have done this work. You yourself is responsible for this work. So this is how we can use reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun can be used as an object, be it direct or indirect object. Reflexive pronoun can be used as intensifying pronoun, but reflexive pronoun cannot be used as compound subjects or compound objects. And then after reflexive pronoun, we have reciprocal pronoun. We use reciprocal pronoun when we want to refer two or more people do the same thing. When two people do the same thing, we use each other. When more than two people do the same thing and enjoy the same benefit, we use one another. For example, Koim and Rohim are helping each other. They are helping each other. When two people do the same thing and enjoy the same benefit, we use each other. And when more than two people do the same thing and enjoy the same benefits, we use one another. Though in modern uses, this difference is actually disappearing. So after the reciprocal pronoun, we can go to the indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronoun refers to non-specific person, place, or things, and they are actually formed with no, every, some, any. So we can say everybody, somebody, nobody, and anybody, and they are indefinite pronouns because they are uncertain, they are not definite. For example, I want to eat something. I am hungry, I just want to eat something. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I want to eat something. I want someone. I don't know who is actually coming to help me, but I want someone to help me. So these are indefinite pronouns, and we use indefinite pronoun when we want to refer non-specific person, place, or thing. So finally we have interrogative pronoun. Interrogative pronouns are used to make question sentences. For example, when did you do this work? Where have you come from? What did you do? These are called the interrogative pronouns. So interrogative pronouns are used actually to make question sentences. The most popular interrogative pronouns are when, what, which, whose. These are most popular interrogative pronouns. Less popular interrogative pronouns are those which just I mentioned a moment back, but this time they are formed with ever or soever. We can say whatsoever or whatever. We can say whichsoever or whichever. So these are less popular interrogative pronouns. So when we are done with the conception of pronoun and its 8 types of pronouns elaborately, and I can talk about the mistakes we actually generally make while dealing with pronoun in our writing and speaking. And we make mistakes when we actually come across these situations. What are those three situations? These are double antecedent, and hidden antecedent, and absence of antecedents. Antecedent refers to such noun which is actually replaced by a pronoun. For example, Korim is a boy, he is a good boy. So Korim is the antecedent of he. So when we have double antecedents, that means when we have two nouns before a pronoun, we just make mistakes. In that situation, we have to mention the noun clearly. For example, Rohim and Korim were walking through a jungle. Suddenly he took rest. So what does here he refer to? Korim, or whom does here he refer to? Korim or Rohim? So it is not clear. So in that situation, you have to write down the correct noun, which one correct noun that you are referring to. For example, we could write Rohim suddenly wanted to take rest, or Korim wanted to take rest, or you could use Rohim and Korim were walking through jungle, suddenly they took rest, on the basis of context. So hope that you can understand the double antecedent. When you come across that situation, of course you will think like that. And then we have hidden antecedent. Sometimes a noun may not behave like a noun in a sentence. It just remains hidden in the guise of let's say noun, but it is not noun, it is adjective. For example, yesterday I bought an ice cream box. In that sentence, I bought an ice cream box. Ice cream, of course, separately a noun, but in that sentence, ice cream is behaving like an adjective. So in the next sentence, I cannot write like that, my friend could not eat it. because it cannot, what should I say, refer to ice cream, because in that sentence ice cream is behaving like adjective. According to our rule, a pronoun cannot replace in the place of an adjective. So in that situation I could write that like that, yesterday I bought an ice cream box, but my friend did not eat ice cream. So the last one is the absence of antecedent. In some situation, there is no uses of noun actually earlier, before a pronoun. So we cannot actually use a pronoun when we don't have any strong antecedent. And you know that you cannot replace any other parts of speech by your pronoun except noun. For example, Karim is poor, but he is not afraid about it. Karim is poor. Here, poor is of course adjective, and through it you cannot refer to poor here, because poor is adjective, and your pronoun it cannot represent poor here. So you should clearly write like that: Karim is poor, but he is not afraid of poverty. So from this lecture we have come to know what pronoun is, and at the same time we have come to know elaborately about those 8 types of pronouns, and finally we also have come to know the way we actually make mistakes while dealing with pronoun in our sentences. And thank you very much for watching this video. Have a good day. Thank you very much.